All it took was one, and then I was like, oh yeah, and then I hate this. Oh, and I hate this, and this irritates me. And one that you know this, I will try not to jump through the screen and like, I don't know. I have no patience for anything divisive. I don't mean conflict. Conflict's a great thing. Conflict tells, again, as I said earlier, it's like it tells me you're invested, tells me you care, this matters, helps make us sharper. What I have no patience for is the divisiveness that follows. And so, like, to zero in today, and I know I've talked about this before, I think on this podcast, is venting. That venting, the concept of venting frosts my cookies or busts my britches or whatever you want to call it. It's like there are certain words, there are certain labels that are just emotionally charged that we know you wouldn't want to be called, right? And like, no one would ever openly admit, hey, I'm a gossip, right? Like and if anybody were to ever call you a gossip, it's not a compliment, right? It's just like we all know that's one of those things we don't want to be. The problem is we all love to gossip. We all do. I don't care whoever's listening. You've done it. We've all done it recently, probably this week. But because we know we're not supposed to do it, and we know that gossip is inherently bad, we came up with a more socially acceptable word for it, and that's venting. So I call you because I'm mad at somebody that you know. I'm not going to call a complete stranger. I might call a complete stranger, but I'm going to call you and say, hey, I just need to vent. I just need to blow off some steam, which is a precursor to me dumping all over somebody who's not here to defend themselves. And I promise you, I'm not giving the whole story. I'm giving you my victim side of the story, how I've been wronged, I've been hurt, my expectations weren't met. I'm not telling you what I did to exacerbate the problem. I'm just dumping, right? And at the end, I say, oh, thank you. I feel so much better.
So much better.
I just dropped a giant steaming pile of crap all over you and your desk. And I walk away going, whew, I feel better. I don't. That's like in the moment I do, but nothing got resolved. It's going to be an issue between me and that person. And here's why, here's the parallel. Here's how we understand that really is gossip. To understand, to let's see, maybe to admit that we are all gossips, you have to understand what gossip is. Gossip is when I am speaking to you about someone else in a negative light, and you are neither part of the problem nor part of the solution. You have no business being allowed or invited into this conversation. So in that sense, if you're my boss and I'm coming to you and I'm saying, hey, can you help me with this? Because this happened and I'm really aggravated and I need to blow off a little steam. Believe it or not, that doesn't become gossip or venting until you engage back with me, which it's funny. I was just on another podcast where I was talking about this. When somebody on your team comes to vent to you, they don't need a venting partner. They need leadership. So where you become part of the solution is when you say, great, what do you want to do with that? How are you going to go fix this situation? How are you going to go repair this? Because clearly you're fired up, right? You need to give voice to this. Like, you need to address this. I can't just leave you in this place, even though you're going to say you feel better. It's going to build. It's going to be a wedge between you and that person. So that's where it's not gossip, because you as my leader, you're helping me through it. But if you vent back or you don't help me, then in that sense, you were neither part of the problem nor part of the solution. I just gossiped. I just crapped all over somebody. And the reason that, I'll bring it back to where I started, divisiveness, that tears relationships apart. And culture is the fabric of relationships that have been laced together to build a high performance team. And if I'm gossiping and our trust is broken, our fabric has a hole in it, right? Our culture has a hole in it. So I really don't have any patience for venting. I call it for what it is. It's gossip. And we all do it. We all do it. We say, when's the last time you call and complain to somebody about somebody? We all do it, but it's not helpful, it's not healthy, and it's never going to fix the problem. Hey, if you're a CEO, you've probably felt this before. Your leadership team is talented, you've got smart people and really good intentions, and yet somehow they're just not always moving in the same direction. Now, you shouldn't have to be, as the CEO, the translator, the referee, and the decision bottleneck all at once. Because when your leadership team gets truly aligned, execution stops feeling like a grind. Now, if that's something you want help with, visit thelyonsgroupconsulting.com or call us at 319-541-0488.
Well, and I think but we get something out of it. So I think that's one thing we got to realize, that there is a chemical reaction in our bodies. And for a split second, it feels pretty good. Mm-hmm. So, and it also, because we're dumping on somebody about something. So if we were to step it back for not just the person that the leader who you want to vent on or vent to,
right,
is it goes full circle back to, how do I take personal responsibility for my thoughts and my actions so that I'm not dumping it about somebody else on somebody else.
Right.
And that's a grown-up move, right? That's we talk a lot about leading yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
How do we stay in our own chair? What does it take to do that? The tall order for many of us. Because there is an addictive behavior to gossiping.
Yeah.
Oh, especially
totally.
when it lives in the culture. Oh, yeah.
Totally. And how often have you heard that culture lives in the stories that people tell? I think that's a Dan Dennison quote, right? So if you want to know the culture of the organization, go listen to the gossip. Go listen to the gossip in the break room. Who are people talking about? What are the stories that they're telling? And remember, you're only ever getting one side of the story. So there's always more to say. And again, I look, mirror work, I have to admit, I've had those moments. You and I've had those moments where I have, in conversation with you, and I get it, it's like the pot of water that's boiling. If it didn't have that hole in the top, it would explode. So that it lets off steam so that it doesn't explode. It is why we do it. But whenever I feel like most of the times when I have done that with you or to you, right, I've just been like, and you just take it, one of two things happens. Either you will listen and you'll acknowledge, oh yeah, I get it. But then you do switch into that, trying to help be part of the solution by asking me challenging questions. One of the things I value about you, you are somebody I can count on to be part of the solution. The other thing that happens, and I can own this, is there are times where I will vent to you, or there are times I'll gossip to you. I'll just complain about somebody who's not here, and then what happens? You can attest to this. I will say, "Crap! Now I have to go have a conversation with that person." Like, dang it! I don't want to, but the fact that I just dropped all of that on you means I now have to go have that conversation, or else I did that person wrong. And it's never as bad as I paint it when I vent or gossip. And it's never irreparable when you approach it with a heart of humility and love and reparation. And so what are you thinking? At some point, every CEO realizes something uncomfortable. They realize that your business has grown faster than some of your leaders have. They're good people, they're loyal people, But really, the next stage of the business requires a new level of leadership. Now, the good news is leadership isn't fixed. It's something that can be developed intentionally. And if that's something you want help with, developing your leaders, visit the lionsgroupconsulting.com or call us at 319-541-0488.
I'm thinking that it's a process. I'm feeling, so you started out talking about feeling victimized. So I'm going to blame, I'm going to blame somebody else or some situation. Let's say somebody else. And so the natural thing to do, if we are not as evolved human beings as we care to be, is not. We gossip, we explode, we vent. And so it's really a peeling back. So it's like, okay, I care about this person. I care about our culture. I care about. So I've got to pull it back. So I'm taking care of it. I may not know how to do that.
Right.
I may be able to not vent, but then I may not know what to do with it. So that's the first place. And sometimes just even acknowledging that I care deeply about my coworker, I care deeply about this project, I care deeply about our company. I just don't know how to care deeply. So pulling it back, being responsible, then oh crap, I got to go have this conversation now that I've vented. I don't know how to do that. Patrick, can you help me? Can you help me learn how to do that? So it's a normal reaction to an event and gossip. We get something out of it in the short term. If we care about something in the long term, we do have to peel it back. And it takes practice, it takes humility, it takes vulnerability, it takes all those things that a lot of us in the short term want to avoid. In the long term, and it could just be a day, it builds stronger relationships.
Yes.
More creativity, more engagement, more care.
Yep. Frankly, it does the opposite of what venting does, the opposite of what gossip does. That just tears it down. Those conversations are like where different perspectives or different sides, remembering everybody cares deeply. That's why you're having this conflict. When you find that commonality or even just celebrate the differences, that's the glue that brings teams together. That's the cement that binds them.